نحمده ونصلي على رسوله بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال الله تعالى إن هدى الله هو الهدى وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله الكريم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي اللهم ارحمني بالقرآن العظيم واجعله لي إماما ونورا وهدى ورحمة واجعله لي حجة يا رب العالمين ربي يسر ولا تؤسر وتمم بالخير آمين ثم آمين السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. The target I have or the goals or objective of this session today, that by the end of this class, if we can all understand this much, which we started last week, and today we're going to finish it, then we will be in a very good spot, inshallah. So what are we trying to accomplish today? That we are very clear that what is a verb in Arabic grammar, right? And then from the verb, how can we make verbal sentences? And what is a verbal sentence? It's a combination of minimum a verb and a subject. And then what is a subject? Subject is a noun, is the doer of the action. Like the entity who is doing the verb or the action is known as the subject. And in Arabic, it's known as the fa'il. The verb is known as the fi'l, and the doer of the action is called the fa'il. It is normally a noun, so it has a status because nouns have a status, and the status is rafa. So moving on, if we can all understand this, whether we know what rafa is not, if we don't know the meaning of rafa, that's okay. But if I ask you a question, what is the status of a file? All you have to say is we need to know what is a pronoun. And we looked at them in a lot of detail last time, and we will go over them one more time. And there is a relationship between a subject and a pronoun. So when we are dealing with the verb, there is a relationship between a subject and the pronoun. Okay. So once we understand all these things, what is we are trying to accomplish? That if a verb is given to us in Arabic language, we know that there are 14 pronouns. So with that one verb, we can make 14 variations. And those 14 variations are technically 14 different verbal sentences. I'm also going to introduce some tools, which we'll look at a little bit later. And these tools will help you in understanding the Arabic. It will help us build the vocabulary. It will help us understanding some of the grammatical terms. And also, it will give us how do we conjugate. Inshallah, once you see them, you will say the word fail. I want this map to be drawn in your head. For example, a fail could be past, could be present or future, or could be commands, like the do commands. When we say past, is known as, it is also complete because something done in the past is complete. We are not in doubt about that. That action has been completed. In the future and the present, the action is incomplete. So if I say I am eating, that action is not complete. Even though it's present, I'm still doing it. If I say I will eat, then I know that I even haven't started the task yet. I haven't even started the action yet. I'm going to start it sometime in the near future. Okay. So the commands could be do something or don't do something. So if I say sit, I'm giving you a command. If I say talk or relax or be quiet, these are all commands. If I say don't yell, don't shout, or don't do this, that is the don't command. Now, these are all parts of the fail. So once we go further in our studies, inshallah, we will learn these commands, and you will see that how these commands are used in the Quran, given to us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. Okay. Then we have in the name for past in the Arabic language is madi, and for the fail for present and future is mudare. So if I say mudare or failul mudare, then you should think about both present and future tense. Okay. And when I said the do's and don't. So the do is fi'l amr and the don't is fi'l nahi. Everybody clear on this so far? Okay. So after we have a fi'l, the most logical understanding we have that the fi'l in Arabic language is by default a jumlatul fi'liya. Jumlatul fi'liya mean it is a verbal sentence. And from the name, you can tell that this is a sentence which is going to start with a verb. What was the jumlatul ismiya? A nominal sentence, and we know that it starts with a noun. So as soon as you heard the word jumlatul fi'liya, you know that it has something to do with a fi'l, and it's a sentence, so it's going to start with a fi'l. And then that fi'l in Arabic has a pronoun inside by default. So technically, the moment you take the name of the fi'l, you are making basically a verbal sentence. And we have seen those examples, and we're going to see those examples again. So just sit tight, inshallah, I'll show you. So what is a jumla fi'liya? It is a combination of a fi'l and the entity who's doing this action or who's doing that fi'l, and they're known as fa'il. What are they known as? Fa'il. Okay. So what we did, let's just rephrase or review what we just said. A fi'l in Arabic differs from an English verb in that every fi'l contains a pronoun inside of it. He, she, it. Okay. This pronoun serves as a doer, meaning this pronoun is the doer of the action. Together, an action and a doer makes a full sentence. Because a fi'l contains both, it is considered a full sentence, a jumlatul fi'liya, which is a fi'l plus fa'il is a jumlatul fi'liya, which is a verbal sentence. Now, what is the highlight about the fa'il? That if we, in future, if we see a noun after a verb, and we look at the status of that noun, if that status is a rafa, then we know that that noun is the fa'il or the doer of the action. Is that clear? We are going to review our pronouns. Now, during the week, I've been sending you reminders and asking you to review this, but if you haven't done it, we'll do it together, no worries. So we know that in Arabic language, we have 14 pronouns, and they are divided into third person, second person, and first person. And we all know this, by the way. This is not new. We use it every day in our vocabulary. It's just that we don't recognize them, but inshallah we will after this. Then we also know these pronouns could be singular, like for one person, or for two people, or for more than two. So, and we also know that it could be for a masculine gender, or it could be for a feminine gender. So how do we understand them? So for example, when we say huwa, that means he. When we say huma, we meant two men or two masculine, not men. I should say two masculine nouns. Okay, they could be other than men. Hum, they all masculine. For the feminine, we have hiya, which will translate into she. Huma is combined between the men and women, or masculine and feminine. Huma, they two, feminine. They all is hunna. So this is the third person. So when you want to refer somebody as he, she, they, then you use the third person pronouns. Then you use for the second person, anta for masculine, antuma for two masculine, antum for more than two masculine, anti for feminine, antuma for feminine, antunna for feminine, you all. When you refer to first person, you're basically referring to your own self. Ana, I, and nahnu, I can say we two, or we can say we all. So nahnu is a combined thing. So the people, if there are two people saying it, then we know that they meant we two. If there are more than two people that say nahnu, then we meant more than two. Similarly, this is for the masculine, this is for the feminine. Masculine, feminine in the second person, and masculine and feminine for the first person and they're combined. These are, their name is detached pronouns. So if you want to understand the vocabulary or the terminology, they are known as detached pronouns because in Arabic, they are not going to attach themselves with anything. They will always be separate. And their status is rafa. So if I ask you a question, and if you are new to this class, if you can just remember this much, that all of these pronouns are of rafa status, then why we are discussing the pronouns of rafa status? Because we said earlier that a file is supposed to be rafa, right? So if you had any concern in your mind or if you had any confusion, that confusion should go away because we said in Arabic, a verb by default has a noun, a pronoun hidden in it, or inside of the field, there is a pronoun. And what is the type of pronoun? It is a detached pronoun of a rafa status. That is why we are learning huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu. So if I give you a verb now, you know, since there are 14 pronouns, there are going to be 14 different variations of that verb. And those 14 variations will be 14 different verbal sentences. Now, whatever I have said, I am going to show you in written so that you can also follow, because sometimes you can miss something when I'm saying something. But now, inshallah, that gap will be filled. So again, a verb is an action, fa'lun. Yes. Doer is a subject, fa'ilun. And the status of the file is rafa. This keyword, that the status of a file is rafa, should be engraved in our head from now on, inshallah. Okay. Then the base form of all Arabic verbs in the past tense. When we start a verb in Arabic, by default, they are in the past tense. From the past tense, we can make the present or the future tense. And inshallah, by session number 4, we will learn how to make from the past tense, how do we make the future tense and the present tense. So what is the default rule we need to remember? Every verb in Arabic in its default form is in the past tense. So zahaba will always be there, or ja'ala, fa'ala. Yeah. Okay. The base form of the verb always corresponds to the third person singular masculine pronoun. By now, I'm sure you've seen it many times. The third person singular masculine pronoun is the doer of the action. The fa'ilun is hidden, and the hidden for Arabic is mustatar or mustatir within the base form of the verb fa'ilun. Notice the hidden he in kharaja. So I'm going to show you a different root words now. Kharaja. Okay, let's take a look. And I will show you in a minute. Almost all Arabic verbs can be traced back to a 3-letter verb, meaning there are 3 root letters. So the remaining few exceptions are traced to a 4-letter verb. Understand their structure. The 3-letter verbs are defined on the pattern of fa'ala as follows. So the Arabic people, when they want to make you understand the verb, they take a pattern or they take a default 3 root letters. They are fa, ain, and lam. Look at this. This fa'ala will be fa, a, lam. Fa, ain, lam. How many letters in this fa'ala? 3. So the first one is fa, the second one is ain, and the last one is lam. So if I give you kharaja, what will happen to kha? The kha will come under kharaja. The fa letter for kharaja is kha, yes, and the ain letter is ra, and the jim, the lam is the jim letter. Did you see what happened here? We're simply putting the new root letters, or the root letters are kha, ra, ja. We are putting them under the corresponding fa'ala letters. So what happens? The kha is the fa kalima. What do we call kha? The fa kalima, or you can call it first radical. Ra is the ain kalima, is the second radical. What about the jim? Is the lam kalima. Yes? Anybody have any confusion about this? This is a substitution. I'm trying to show you substitution. I will give you from now on the 3 root letters, and our pattern is fa'ala. Our job is to substitute the new letters fa under fa, ain under ain, and lam under lam. Yes? So in kharaja, is kha the fa letter? Everybody agrees on that?
Yes.
Is ra is the ain letter? Yes.
Yeah.
And if I say jim is the lam letter?
Yeah.
So if you have to explain it to me, you can say the kha is the fa kalima, or the kha in this kharaja is the fa kalima, ra is the ain kalima, and the jim is the lam kalima. So what happens now? How many variations of kharaja we can make? Can somebody tell me?
14.
14. Okay. So let's take a look. He is huwa. The suffix will be hidden, right? Fa'ilun, mustatir, kharaja. He left. Is that anything new here? Instead of zahaba, I am putting the word kharaja. And the meaning of kharaja, he left. The action of going somewhere is defined by kharaja in Arabic. Agree? Is the first verb by default is the third form masculine singular. Agree?
Yes.
Yes.
And that is huwa. The second will be they too. That will be huma. And the suffix will be alif. The file will be this alif. And this will be kharaja. They too left. All of them will be hum. More than 2 will be hum. Hum is the waw alif. The file is waw. And that is kharaju. They all left. They too, more than 2 people left. For the feminine, she, hiya. The ta, mustatir, and this kharajat. Is this any different from zahaba?
No.
No. All I'm doing, I am substituting the new root letters into the same template. It was zahaba, zahaba, zahabu. Now I'm saying kharaja, kharaja, kharaju. It was zahabat for female, so it becomes kharajat for female for kharaja. Okay, so let's quickly take a look.
Mustatir, can you just kindly explain this?
Mustatir is hidden. Hidden.
Okay.
Mustatir means something is hidden inside, right? Huma is ta, alif, and kharajata, they too left. I'm going to speed up a little bit because I have so many of these variations. So let's take a look. Hunna will be... Yes. Sorry, question?
She also, you said it was mustatir, right? Hidden?
Yes. The huwa and hiya are mustatir, but for rest of them, there is some sort of suffix. See that? See that huwa was blank. And for the ta, we take basically the ta with a sukoon, right? So I'm making it visible to you so that you can see. So they are mustatir, by the way, but we replace it by the ta sukoon. Okay. Kharajna, for they too left, female. Now for you, it will be anta, ta, that's the file. Kharajta. When I say kharajta, mean you left, male. How about two male left? Kharaj, tuma. What about more than 2? Kharaj, tum. And for the female, kharaj, ti. Right? Kharaj, tuma.
Kharaj tunna.
Kharaj, tunna. Jazakallah khair. Okay. Kharaj, tu. Kharaj, na. Okay. So if you have understood the zahaba, now look at this. Kharaja, kharaja, kharaju, kharajat, kharajata, kharajna, kharajta, kharajtuma. Sorry, I think. Kharajtuma, kharajtum, kharajti, kharajtuma, kharajtunna, kharajtu, kharajna. Are we good with this? Okay.
Alhamdulillah.
Don't put too much stress on your head. Just go along with the flow. As this is a game, And we are all doing is we have a template, and in that template, we are putting new words. Okay, now I'm going to reverse engineering this, explain to you more. So let's take a look at this. We have learned before that the base form of the verb contains he or it, which is huwa, as the file. So kharaja means he left. Within the base form, the file is considered hidden. Mustatir. So we have kharaja. So do we know that he is inside kharaja? If we are talking about a
Yes, we know.
if we say that human, then it's he. If it's non-human, then we say it. Yes. So huwa is used for both he and it if it's a masculine. Okay, so kharaja is the fail, and then the file is hidden inside is the huwa. Is this clear now? That the kharaja, the moment you see it, it has two parts, the fail and the hidden pronoun in it. Which one is it? The third person singular masculine pronoun, which is huwa. Okay.
So, Brother Abid, just a question. So, when you say kharaja, so basically that is a sentence then.
It is
He
a
left.
sentence. That's exactly what I said. That in Arabic, the fail is a jumlatul failiyah because it is understood that there is a file inside of the word. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yes, it's a jumlatul failiyah. So kharaja is one variation of the jumla. Let's look at the second one. In order to say they two left, an alif is added at the end. So whatever I have shown you, I'm just explaining it to you now. I'm just writing it down for you. Okay. So how do we look at this? So we have kharaja, and we have been going to add an alif to it. It will become kharaja. You see that red alif is got added to the end. Yes. Now, please tell me that now the previous presentation or the screen, and now this is explaining it in a different way. Is it helping you?
Yes.
Are you able to see more now? Are you able to understand that what I was trying to explain there and what I'm showing you right here? Yeah.
Yeah.
And if anybody is lost or having any confusion, please ask question. Don't be shy, because asking question will not only help you, but it will help the rest of the class as well. Yeah. So raise your hand.
No, brother, it's excellent.
Yes. Alhamdulillah. Okay, good. Okay. So when you see kharaja and then you add alif to it, it becomes kharaja, and it is because of the huma. So in your mind, the pronoun was huma, but out of the huma, you took the suffix alif and you call it kharaja. And this is a verbal sentence. It means they two went. Yeah. So since this alif represents the two who did the action, this alif is the fa'ilun. Yes. So in your mind, huma is the pronoun you used. But if I say who is the file in kharaja, you're going to say alif is the file. And I say, what is the meaning of alif? You will say they too, huma. Is that making sense? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So in order to say they more than two left, a and wow or a wow is added at the end, and the wow act as the file, meaning kharaja added the wow, and then it becomes kharaju. Yes. Now, if you have to, if you look closely, you will find two differences. First of all, the jim had the fatha. Yes. But when we added the wow, we changed it into a dhamma. You see that? Did you notice that when it became kharaju, it was not kharajau. It was not kharajau. Because if they had left the fatha over here, it would have sounded like kharajau. Does it sound good? It doesn't sound good. So in order to make it smooth for the tongue to say, they changed the fatha to dhamma. This sound, this little wow thing you see is called dhamma. Urdu mein isko hum pesh kehte hain. Yeah. So this wow got added, but then you see an additional alif here. So this alif is called aliful wiqaya. What is it called? Aliful wiqaya, the alif of protection. It protects the waw from being mistaken from the conjunction waw. In Arabic, the waw is and. Yes? If you know a little bit Arabic, you see Hamid was Zaid. When I say Hamid was Zaid, that means I say Hamid and Zaid. Agree? So that waw, to protect that, this aliful wiqaya is added, is called alif of protection, so that you don't mistake this waw as and. It is for kharaju, it is the file. Making sense, guys?
So that is to protect it from the next word. You don't put an and between this word and the next word.
Yes, that's probably okay. So now, again, I've already explained this, that the fathatun changed to a dhammatun. This fatha changed into dhamma, because otherwise it would have been khara jaw. See that? Khara jaw. It is khara. When we come to the feminine, what we do, the base form of the verb is feminized by adding a ta. It's called ta'u tanis. Ta'u tanis is the, remember I said there is the ta marbuta for feminine in Arabic. So when we say kharaja, so we say kharajat. So they just make it sukoon. They made it sakina. So this will be kharajat. Yeah. So she left, and it's the hiya. The ta'u tanis is not a file. Instead, the file is considered hidden in this form and is implied as she, it, female did it. She is the file, which is done by here. Okay. Now, in order to say two female, it was kharaj ta. See, because of this ta, we put the fatha on it and added the alif, so it becomes kharaj ta. Okay. Since the alif represents they two who did the action, you will say in kharajta or in kharajta, the file is alif. But what do you understand in the back end? That huma was the pronoun which was used to conclude that. Okay. And for the plural, we're going to say kharaj na. We are going to add the na at the end and become kharaj na. Okay. Since the noon represent that the more than two feminine did it, then it is the fa'ilun. What is the fa'ilun kharajna? The noon. Okay. Notice that the fatha on the third radical changes to a sukoon in this case. So it was kharaja, but for when we did the na, we made the fatha into a sukoon. Anta will be kharajta, antuma will be kharajtuma, antum will be kharajtum. Yeah. For the feminine, anti will be kharajti, antuma will be kharajtuma, and antunna will be kharajtunna. Yeah. For the ana, kharajtu. So this is a little tricky. Ta is you, tu is I. Okay, so if you want to remember this, if you see kharajta, that means you did it. Kharajtu, I did it. Yes. So the tu and ta, there is a little difference between this.